Hi, I'm Mike Gelinas. This is Mike Quinn. We're instructors with the Massachusetts Firefighting Academy. Today, we're going to demonstrate the weekly inspection of a self-contained breathing apparatus. We begin by all recruits verbalizing that all components of the SCBA are present, free from any damage. Any damaged components should be removed from service immediately. We'll begin by removing the cylinder from the harness. Each recruit will check the bottle for damage and be assured that the hydrostatic testing date was within 5 years. The cylinder must be full or within 90%. At this point, each recruit will do a complete inspection of the harness assembly.
So I'm going to start doing this inspection down here for my O-ring inside my high pressure connector. I'm checking inside here. There's a small white O-ring. You want to make sure it's present. You want to make sure any part that moves on the SCBA will move freely, and the connector does move freely. I'm going to move up to the universal air connector cover, which is this piece right here. Make sure it's present and working and not damaged. I'm going to move up to the high pressure hose. Run my fingers along it, and I'm making sure there's nothing protruding from it, no cuts or slices or anything like that. I move up to my high pressure regulator. I want to make sure this will slide up and down freely. I continue out of the top. Comes the low pressure regulator. The low pressure hose. The low pressure hose, some of it's hidden behind the shoulder strap. So what we want to do is we want to pull it through. So I take it and I pull it all the way through, so I expose all of it, checking it with my hands for cuts, gouges, or anything protruding. I continue, check the entire hose, all the way down to the low pressure regulator. First thing I'm going to check is my purge valve. Make sure it's in working order. Leave it in the 12 o'clock position, which is off. Next thing, I'm going to check my dawned-off switch. Try to click it, make sure the dawned-off switch is working. And finally, my thumb clip. Make sure the thumb clip is in working order. We look at the gasket, make sure the gasket's working. If it's not working, make sure the gasket has no cuts or gouges or anything like that. And that the heads-up display is in the proper position and connected. I'll check the working order of this later on. So that, I move to the shoulder strap. I'm going to make sure that all the straps work. I'm going to pull it, make sure it's nice and tight. I am exercising the straps. Again, anything that moves. I'm moving up to the next strap. The next strap, we have our integrated pass device with our air gauge. I'm going to check all the wires, make sure there's no cuts. Again, feed it through so I can see the entire assembly of it. Looks like it's in good working order. Since I have the pass device in my hand, I'm now going to check the batteries in the pass device, which are down here. I'm going to depress the yellow button, and I'm looking for a blue light, which will turn into a green light. I have blue, I have green. That tells me the batteries are in working condition. So at this point, I'm going to put down the harness, move my waist straps. I'm going to check the back plate, make sure my waist strap is here. It's in nice and tight, no cuts, burns, tears, or anything like that. I'm going to the back plate, the assembly. I'm pushing on it, making sure all the welds are working. Make sure I have a gasket here on the bottle. And then finally, I'm going to flip it back over. So I flip it back over. See my bottle strap is working in working order. We already checked the gasket. I'm going to squeeze all the metal pieces, make sure all the welds are working. Check the thumb clip of the bottle. And then the final thing that I'm doing is I'm going to make sure my waist strap connects and holds nice and tight. So that is how you inspect the harness of the SCBA.
At this time, recruits will do a complete inspection of their facepiece.
So I'm starting out on the face piece, on the actual lens. I'm feeling it, make sure there's no cuts, bubbles, or tears, or any crazing. Crazing is thermal damaging. From here, I check all the valves on the mask, make sure they're nice and tight. Then I look at the nose cone. I want to make sure the nose cone is seated correctly in the mask. I have two red one-way valves inside here. Make sure they're there and in working order. Make sure the nose cone and all the rubber on the mask is not torn or has no dry rot or any damage at all. The next thing I'm going to is the netting. The netting has 4 straps. I want to exercise all the straps, make sure they're all working, make sure they hold. After I exercise all 4 straps, the top 2 straps have 2 snaps. I want to go back and I want to make sure this snap is in place and this snap is in place and working. Finally, I hold it up. Take a look at the netting. The netting looks pretty good. So that is the complete inspection of the facepiece.
At this time, recruits will replace the bottle into the harness. At this time, the recruit will open the cylinder and verbalize that the low air alarm sounded and the pass device is activated.
Low air alarm sounded. Pass device activated.
He will compare the cylinder gauge to the remote gauge and verbalize that it is within 250 psi if it's a 5.5 and 100 psi if it's a 4.5.
Gauge is within 250.
He's going to allow the passive operation of the pass device. Followed by the manual activation using the emergency button. The recruit will connect his regulator to the facepiece. Check for proper operation by inhaling. He's also going to check his heads-up display and verbalize that he has 2 green lights and no red lights.
2 green, no red.
He will depress the on/off switch and close the cylinder and continue to breathe out of the mask to check the low air alarm operation.
Low air alarm sounded.
He will depress the on and off switch, removing his mask, and reset the pass device. At the end of all inspections, each recruit will verbalize that the SCBA will be cleaned and dried as needed before placed back in service.